Okay, we're live. Sorry about the slight delay with friggin' was it connection problems and stuff, but we are here now. So welcome to session 1, as in a full-length session of Dreams of a Bygone Age called Cthulhu 7th Edition. So I'm going to ask you all to sort of run along in the usual roll call and introduce your characters. Maybe elaborate more on what they look like, since not everybody sort of, well, elaborated last time. I want to know what they look like. And then we're going to have a little recap. So I'm just going to go left to right as usual. So why don't we start with Becky?
Hi everyone. First of all, sorry for not appearing on camera. I appear to have bandwidth issues. So today you will just have to listen to my dulcet tones and imagine this is the radio. And I'm your favourite presenter on radio instead of on YouTube, which obviously I'm all your favourites. I am playing Helen Munro, who I actually did describe last week. And if you're paying attention, you'd know. But this would work so much better if I had visuals. God damn it.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a problem if you can't see you. Anyway, next up is Phil.
Hello, I'm playing a mid-30s ex-criminal. Dark hair and brown eyes. He's got a couple of tattoos. He's done a little bit of time, but he's trying to go straight. He's a little bit wary of the law in this town, and hopefully he'll be able to stay under the radar.
What kind of things did he do, by the way?
It's very low-level stuff. He was stealing cars, taking them and selling them to a chop shop, that sort of thing. A little bit of low-level theft. Nothing major. He was in any particular gangs or anything. But,
Okay, awesome. And on to Ronnie.
Hi, I'm playing Sheriff Dominic Hollander. He's a sort of graying man who's 50. He's a former New York police detective who has seen too much, done too much, is just world-weary and hateful of life. And he has decided to take this small-town job because he reckons he's just going to have a quiet few years before he gets his pension. He, being a middle-aged man, he's got a bit of the old middle-aged spread round the bit of a paunch. And he's just trying to get used to the change of pace.
Okay, fantastic. And I would like one of you to, I know it was only a short session, but I'd like one of you to give us a recap of what you took from it, what happened, and where we left it. I can always offer rewards if you're a bit shy.
I don't mind speaking up. I was just allowing others to go first if they wanted to.
well, I think we were all enjoying a nice quiet drink and a bite to eat in the local bar, and an unexpected tornado hit, and we've rushed out to save the, or myself and Helen has rushed out to save her store, and I think the police chief sheriff is off to do whatever they do in such times.
Yeah, he's he was trying to coordinate things, but then found that he wasn't getting much of a signal with his radio, probably the weather playing havoc with the signal. So he was heading on his way to the sheriff's office to crack some skulls. And he did notice that the sky, the sort of weather front that was coming in, was almost technicolor in its hue, which, it doesn't usually happen in Virginia.
Yes, and wasn't a lot of warning about this storm either, was there? It was quite sudden.
Yes.
It was indeed sudden. And that is where we're going to jump right in. So why don't we start off with our police chief extraordinaire, Dominic? Don't know why I said Nick opposed to Dominic, because you're the one who's gone a little bit further ahead than everybody else. So presumably you'd have a vehicle with you. I know you want to go for a drink or a bite, but you'd bring your vehicle. Your sort of jail, your quarters, as it were, is down Route 151, down towards the mountain resort, and the sort of the big winter attraction. Not quite as far down as that, but it's a few miles down there. So I guess you sort of be getting into your car. The storm is getting closer at an alarming rate. And you see that a few other people have come out and start running, presumably to escape from this thing. There's quite a general sense of panic here, and you feel a bit conflicted about this.
I get on the bullhorn, which usually has a nice loudspeaker thing on the car, which tends to be the case. I say, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, please return to your homes. Return to the buildings, lock them down. Do not go into the street unless absolutely necessary. Please return to your homes. I'm now driving within the limit, but at the upper end of the limit to get to the police station.
Cool.
By the way, am I driving towards the storm or away from it as I'm driving?
Yeah, the storm, it's got quite a big radius, if you will. At the moment, you're driving maybe a little bit away from it, but actually, how good have you got any navigation on you?
Oh, that's a very good... no, except for the base.
Okay, you're not sure. You think it might grow bigger, or it might be close enough that it doesn't really matter which way you go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna...
It's getting sort of alarmingly, scarily close.
I am literally going by the shortest route then. I don't care about it.
Well, it's pretty much one direct route. You sort of need to head back down the driveway where there's like the grill. There's also a golf course very close by. A couple of other sort of nice attractions for fairly rich tourists. You kind of go down this lane, and then it's a right turn onto Route 151, and you sort of head down there for a few miles.
If I happen to see any stupid nutcases who have decided to take the long walk of the 18 holes while I'm passing the golf course, I'm going to refer them to the 19th hole and tell them to head straight for the clubhouse. Because if they're still trying to make par with that shit happening, they're fucking stupid. Okay. I'm going to continue my
You've only been in the car for maybe a minute, and you're coming out and beginning your drive down. It's called Monachan Drive, or Route 634, if you want to be specific. It's quite dark because in this area it's all sort of quite thick forest. Obviously the roads are clear, although maybe in a while you're not so sure. But you hear some going on your comms. And you hear one of your colleagues come in, you think from the jail itself, saying, "We've been struck. We've been struck by lightning. The criminals that they're getting out. They've run."
Deputy, this is the sheriff. I'm on my way. I'll be there in a few minutes. Contain what you can.
Okay, and you start speeding off. You definitely feel, even in the trees, you feel a sense that the wind is almost kind of pulling the car around, and it's just getting darker and darker. You're having to put your lights on practically full beam at this rate. Now,
I get the flashing lights on as well.
Like? Yeah. What's your driving like?
Oh, I wish you hadn't asked me that particular question. 45.
Okay. So as you're sort of heading down, you veer around a corner, and you suddenly see this flash, really quite close to the car. It doesn't hit the car, but you suddenly see a tree light up in sort of a blinding purple flash in the way that lightning hits a tree, and you can see flames start emitting from it immediately. It kind of lights everything around it, and you sort of struggling to kind of get enough ground to get around it, but you do. You're okay. That you see that there are sort of more people running around at this stage. Even you sort of even see somebody kind of try and perhaps get into your vehicle, sort of slam themselves against it.
Return to your homes.
But
You
Sheriff,
really think-
please, I live far away. I haven't got a vehicle.
How many of them?
It's just the one.
Let him in.
He's a little bit inebriated. You actually recognize him as one of the regulars, and he does live a few miles away at least.
Let him in a car.
Oh, thank you, Sheriff, thank you. You know where I am, don't you?
Yeah, we're heading to my work first.
Okay. All right. So so you head further down, and I'm gonna jump for a little minute to the other two.
Yep.
Now, remind me, do you have any kind of vehicle, Helen?
Depends how close the shop. Yes, I do. I have a pickup actually called Bertie. But if the shop is close to the tavern, and if it's a small town, I'm expecting that, then we would have walked over.
Okay. It's kind of an awkward distance, perhaps, to walk. It's just sort of slightly too long. It's from your place. It's about 4 or 5 miles walk.
Oh, hell no. We'd have brought Bertie then.
Okay.
So, yes, I get into Bertie and I floor it, paying no regard for the speed limit the moment the sheriff is out of my mirrors.
Okay. Even though he's ahead of you, but yeah.
Oh,
we'll see.
okay. Then
Okay,
I might
so-
accidentally catch him up. And then I think I'll deal with it later. I'm just going to... Yeah, no, got to protect the store.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, let's say that happens. So the two of you sort of bundle in, you set off again in regard for the speed limit, and you quickly come past the tree that was struck by lightning a couple of minutes ago. You see a couple more trees that have been damaged. One of them is even felled, but fortunately it's sort of away from the road. It's not right on it, so it doesn't affect the driving at the moment. But you can really feel everything kind of swirling around with the wind. You can see leaves getting picked up everywhere, and actually it's now starting to rain. You know, sort of a storm fashion, where it kind of comes in almost like waves, if you know what I mean. But you do fairly quickly catch up to the sheriff, and it's a bit of a squeeze. You're still on the lane, and it's kind of a single lane road, so you can get 2 cars, but it is a little bit of a squeeze for 2 pickup trucks, if you will. So can each of you who's driving make me drive rolls, please?
I made a hard success.
Okay.
So I'm overtaking.
Yeah. Yeah. I failed quite spectacularly. It's not It's not a critical failure, but it's a fail.
Okay. Remember, you can spend luck if you want, or you can, with a very good reason, ask to push the roll, or you might want to leave it as a fail for now. It's up to you.
I think I'm gonna have to push the roll.
Okay. So you would need to describe how you avoid. Essentially, think of it as a bit of a dangerous maneuver from Helen. And not only do you have to swerve out of the way a little bit of that, but another tree really, really close to you, it catches light, and it's more the noise that catches you by surprise. So you're going to need to explain to me, in a bit of detail, how you avoid that.
I'm quite literally going to pull a handbrake turn and do a 180. and try and sort of push the brake and the handbrake and try and do a 180.
Okay.
In an attempt to try and slow
Okay.
forward momentum down.
Okay, that's fine. I accept that for now. Bear in mind with a push roll, it can sort of affect your consequence later on.
Yeah,
But for now, okay, that's fine. And also, it's the start of the campaign, so I'm not going to be too strict at this point. Okay, so Helen and Carl come sort of racing past you, and you're aware that they're going to head to the shop, which is actually along the same route as the jail. It's actually on the way there, so it's down the same direction. But you get a sense of this, Helen and Kyle, in one of your wing mirrors. You see more lightning come surging from these clouds. It's purple. It's there's a bit of sort of red and yellow in there, and it's something strange about the noise it's making as well. When it hit the tree, it was sort of a fairly massive bang, but there's sort of this distant thunder, which it kind of sounds almost primordial in a way, a little bit like an animal, like a great animal roaring.
I'll turn to Carl and say it's okay. There's absolutely no way he'll identify us in this storm.
Oh, you're going to need a bit more careful than that if you want to make it to your shop. You're going to get us killed at this rate.
Okay,
Would you rather walk?
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to walk, but just take it a bit easy. You're going to know what sort of debris in the road.
So at this rate, the weather is still getting worse. Your wipers are having to sort of get rid of quite a lot of leaves. There's sort of the sound of twigs and branches actually hitting your car at this point. They're still quite small, but even so, it's a little bit concerning for the windscreen. Now, you are aware that when you come round the second corner, you're aware at the bottom, just before the junction onto Route 151, there is a cattle grid. And as you round this corner, you actually see that a tree has fallen across it.
Okay, I presume the tree is too big for Bertie to go over. So how close are we to the shop at this point?
Yeah, so if you were to get out and walk from here, it would be maybe a mile down the road.
Oh, that is a long way.
Can I go around the cattle grid? What would I be going through?
You could try. Basically, it's like a really, really tiny brook, more for design or aesthetic purposes than anything. So you could even cross that on foot, or maybe even get the pickup truck across it. But essentially, yes, the tree is too big for Bertie to go over it. But you notice that there is like a break in the middle as it's hit, kind of gone into the cattle grid. So that there is that sort of break in the middle of it.
Shall I see if I can move it?
I'll slow up. No, we haven't got time. I'll slow right up, and I'll see if I can just slowly maneuver through the brook.
Okay, no problem. Because you're going slow, I won't make you roll for that. You do. It takes a little bit of time, sort of 5-7 fairly intense minutes as you hear the thunder getting closer. Kyle, you see as well another tree behind gets lit up with fire. But you do with the sort of the treaded tires, you get up fairly easily. You cause a little bit of damage, but at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Watching
Sorry,
from the window.
damage to Bertie or damage to the trees?
No, more damage to the actual sort of the terrain more than anything.
Oh yeah, who cares? It's not mine.
Yeah.
Watching from the window, I'll just make a comment. That I've never seen lightning all different colours like this before. It doesn't seem very normal.
This will be one of them city folk storms.
And you manage to really sort of rev hard and get up the last bit of the brook bank, and you get back onto the road and take a 90-degree turn to the right onto the highway. Meanwhile, coming up behind you is our sheriff. You basically see the pickup truck in front of you just head onto the highway, and you can see the same situation in that there is this problem with the tree across. There is a bit of a slope, by the way, heading down to the cattle grid, if you want to use that for momentum.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just gonna, I'll slow up near that tree, and again, sort of similarly, I'm just gonna shunt to create a bit more of an opening.
Okay.
Just sort of shunting the tree out of the way.
Okay, that's fine. At this stage, though, it is this sort of cloud is getting closer, and you actually feel it much harder to keep control of this vehicle. So, can you make me a drive roll, please?
I'd like to make you a successful drive roll.
Successful, as in just a regular pass.
15, well passed.
Oh, okay. What is that? Hard, extreme?
No, it's not quite. Oh, hard is half of it.
Yeah, and then extreme's the 5th.
Yeah, it's a hard success then.
Okay, that's fine. So you kind of think it might get upon you, but you realize it's just sort of lingering back enough, and you feel the determination to sort of concentrate on your training from the city, and you head up, and you just manage to get onto the highway in time, and then you feel the nice sort of comfort of tarmac again as you get on. So the rain is now pretty bad, and now you're out of the forest. So if you imagine this road is on the border of the forest, now that you're exposed, it's raining much harder, and you can actually see on the road it's getting really quite wet. I mean, it's wet around here anyway because you're near Stony Creek, but even so, it's getting quite bad. But fortunately, you only have about a mile or a few in Dominic's case to go. So Helen and Kyle, you get to your shop, and you notice that it's mostly intact. There is a part of it, though, that has actually kind of caved in a little bit. It's sort of the north corner, you can see has come in a little bit just at the top.
What, glass or brickwork?
Mostly glass. There is a little bit of brickwork, though.
All right, let's get inside and get these shutters down.
Yep. You got any hammer and nails?
We don't have time for that. We're just going to have to rely on the metal shutters. I just hope they still come down. I haven't used them since '74.
Okay, so yeah, you both get out of your vehicle.
Singing about Dixie Storms. I thought she was singing about an emotional state.
How do you get into your shop? Because there's two entrances. There's sort of the main public entrance, if you will, and there's like a little back door next to your little office.
Sure, but we've just presumably parked up in front, so it would be the main entrance.
Okay.
Because I'll have keys for both, obviously. The only thing is, putting shutters down on a shop in this era isn't usually a button inside. It's usually get outside and get a pole and winch them down.
Okay.
How many poles have we got?
So, just the one, hon.
Okay. Well,
okay. So. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll start on the shutters.
All right, I'll get the office door open so you can come in after you're done.
All right, so you both head in. You both know what you're doing. Can both of you please make me dodge rolls?
Dodge.
That was unexpected.
Indeed.
Dex. No, when it's half dex, are you rounding down or up?
It would basically, I would just do it the way it halves anyway. Okay.
I passed that one.
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay. Ooh. Okay, well, fortunately, I rolled terribly. So, both of you hear the sound of a gunshot. Kyle, you managed to dive out of the way because you're actually near one of the fridges in the store, so you kind of get down. Unfortunately, Helen is not quite quick enough, and a bullet, there are 2 shots fired, but one of the bullets just sort of skims your shoulder, causing you 1 HP damage.
Was the shots inside, or did they come from outside?
They were inside.
Oh.
Now, the one that fired and missed you, Kyle, hits the glass on the public door, and basically, Dominic, as you're going past, you see this sort of breakage in the glass sort of emit, almost like if you drop something in a pool and it expands.
Ah, shit. I turn to Park.
Helen, are you all right? And I'll drop the pole and crawl over.
Yeah, Helen is busy at the moment sprinting, which I'm going to dive over.
Sorry, I only heard dive over.
I'm going to sprint for the counter, and I'm going to dive over it because that's where I keep my gun.
Okay, cool. As you're doing that, you hear the sound of a voice say, "There's no point being stupid about this. We're in charge of this place now. You might as well come out quietly."
Who the hell are you?
Now, that's a very good question, Kyle. Can you make me... can you make me a luck roll?
A luck roll? I certainly can. Oh, I passed 38.
The voice sounds a little familiar to you.
Oh, right. Do I know you?
You hear the sound of a click as if, a gun is being unlocked. And you see somebody step out from behind one of the aisles. It is somebody you've not seen for maybe 5 years, possibly more. Fairly insignificant at the time. He was just somebody you were delivering a car to. He was kind of like the next along the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And he took it from you, no questions asked, and that was it. And he looks at you. He obviously recognizes you.
What the hell are you doing?
Kyle, was it? Well, I didn't know you were going to come in here, but what does it matter? I haven't seen you in so long.
You ain't gonna do no more shooting, are you? No more shooting.
Well, if the cops come in, come on, get to hiding. We need to put the shutters down. This place is going to collapse otherwise. But we thought it the safest. Way better than the jail. That's all fucked up.
What, you've been in the jail?
I don't know what happened, but I think it was lightning or something. Caused the tree to come down, fell into one of our cells.
You've escaped from the jail. Oh, Jesus. Helen,
Well,
you're all right.
Are you?
So once behind the counter, I'm going to pick up my gun. It's just a pistol. And I'm going to say, get there to put the shutters down now.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Okay, everyone outside, give me a hand pulling these shutters down.
No, not you. I need you in here, Kyle. I need you to help me up back here.
Are you hit?
Gonna have to get the storm shutter down inside.
Okay.
So,
I'll throw one of them the pole. There's the pole. Pull the shutters down.
how do we know we can trust you, Kyle? How do we know we haven't got cops outside?
Hey, it's me. What am I doing with the cops?
Okay. That's a bit oversimplifying it, isn't it? Do you have any kind of speaking role like charm
I have fast talk.
or persuade?
Fast talk.
Yeah, it's not quite appropriate. Okay, then.
How do you think? Do you think he had time to call the cops?
You just started shooting. Oh,
You just
yeah.
shot us 2 seconds ago. Now there's a storm coming, and you got to get them shutters down.
All right, miss. All right, ma'am. Even sorry, because he looks at you and realizes that you don't sound as old as you actually are. He tells the others to go outside and get the shutters, and then he follows out as well.
Yeah. They've just gone.
Okay. Now here's the bit I already introduced this aspect. Once you've got the shutters down, the only way in is from the side door. So I'm going to go to the side door, and the office door, and I'm going to point my gun at it. And if anyone tries to get in, I'm going to shoot through the bloody door.
Do you know to use that thing?
Hun, this is America.
Okay, so jumping back to Dominic. So you park up. There's if you're parking sort of lawfully, there's some spaces at the side, sort of adjacent. And as you park up, you're still sort of in your car, turn the engine off. You actually see somebody you recognized who should be in a cell come out. You think he's armed. He looks like he was going to actually sort of batten down the hatches a bit, but when he sees you, he hot-tails it round the back.
Yep. Draw my 357 Magnum and pursue.
Okay. It is really, really wet outside. It's almost like a monsoon now coming down. This rain. It's really, really difficult to see. But as you round the corner, can you give me a firearms roll at a disadvantage, please?
Oh.
Or a penalty, it's technically called, isn't it?
So what's that? I roll.
So you roll percentile, and you roll the tens twice, and then take the highest score, unfortunately.
That would be 38 then.
For your highest?
Yeah, so what, you roll the percentile.
Yeah.
And 2d10.
No, so you then re-roll the tens dice, so the 20, 30, 40.
Right. Still 38. That was higher than the one I just rolled.
Oh. Wow, okay. All right, so you've been in this before. There's been storms in the city as well. You kind of squint your eyes, rub them a bit, and you head round, and you've got essentially a clear shot. So you fire, roll your damage.
Ooh. Which is the 357, which is a D8 and a D4. Six.
Okay. Okay, so you get him pretty well in the thigh. It causes him to buckle and kneel down. You've got him in a spot with an artery as well, so there's quite a lot of blood that he's losing quickly. You realise that he's dropped a small pistol, which actually looks like police property. And you recognise him as they call them inmates or just surnames or.
If they've just been arrested, they'll have their full names, especially if they're local.
Okay, you recognise him as Bull. surname Bull.
Oh, Mr. Bull. What are you doing on a nice night like this?
There's a fucking storm, you idiot.
Look, I'm very well aware that the rainbows have stopped looking nice and started getting angry, but that's no reason to bloody start looting places. Like, get in there. Get.
The last of your sentence is completely drowned out by thunder, and you see in your peripheral vision an even sort of brighter light coming from this cloud than ever before. In fact, can you see something in it? Like an image? Make me a sanity roll.
Balls. Don't want to do sanity rolls. Yes. Yes, that's fine. Yes.
You pass? Okay.
Yep.
So you think maybe it was just your mind kind of piecing something together like you do if you look at a cloud. You know, normally it might look like something, but the colors are definitely more intense, and that does worry you. It actually worries you to the core, like something is really, really wrong. And
All right,
this
hop
guy
along,
Bull,
Cassidy. Let's go.
Yeah. I've just realized we keep losing Phil.
Yeah.
Shall we wait for him a minute or so?
Yeah.
You're still here, aren't you, babe?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just covering the side door with my gun, and if I see or hear someone trying to come in, I'm going to shoot through it.
Let me see if we can put something on Facebook.
Yeah, it says his PC froze. He'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. We can wait.
Okay, I'll be happy. I'm just going to nip to the loo.
Okay. No worries.
Your character needs a call of nature in this sort of situation? Ah! Oh, yeah. It's intense out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's intense.
Is he back? Yes, he's back. Becky just nipped to the loo. Just to quickly recap you. So basically Dominic has gone out, has shot one of the criminals, and has seen the lightning get even more intense than it was.
Is it the guy I know who got shot?
He has got shot. Not the person you know, somebody else.
Oh.
Bull, you said his name was?
Bull. B-U-L-L.
Ah, so he's full of it. Okay.
Well, no, you know him as a drug dealer. He was quite quite infamous around this area, actually.
Was he a smuggler as well as a dealer?
No, not
'cause
as high profile as that.
Because then he really would have been full of it.
Oh, yeah.
Dear.
Is she back? Is she back?
Ah, she's still got
I'm
the
getting a little warm.
she's still got the mute on. So yes, I'm going to take him round to the front of the shop, the front door, because I figure that's going to be nearer.
The front, okay. Yeah, that's fine. At this rate, the doors are kind of equidistant from each other as to where you are. So why don't we say at this point that that Carl, you're putting down the front, but then you see Dominic sort of rapping on the front door.
Okay, yeah, I'll let him in if he's out there.
And you see him dragging this bundle in. He's got a bloodied leg, and he's sort of thinking, oh, just a bit over the top. But even so, it looks quite bad, actually.
Yeah. I'll pull him in and kick the door shut.
Okay, sit down there. If you're extremely well behaved, I might think about patching your leg up. Holster my weapon.
Did you pick up the pistol he dropped, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so it's out in the rain. Okay, so you sort of tell him to sit down, and then suddenly another gunshot. Can both of you make me dodge rolls, please?
Me?
Yep, you and Kyle.
And I've...
Oh,
yeah.
shit! Missed by 1.
That's a hard success.
If missed by 1, you can spend your luck.
Yeah, I think I will, actually.
You might as well if it's only 1. Your luck doesn't come back every session, but it does replenish when you sort of develop your character or level up, if you will.
Okay, so
I got a hard success there.
What did you get? Sorry, Kyle.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can. Sorry, I got a hard success. I got 20.
Hard success. Perfecto. Okay. Right. So, and Dominic is just a pass by spending luck. Okay. So, Dominic, you're quite distracted by Bull, but you do just manage to dive out of the way. And Kyle, you're obviously already jumped by the first gunshot that you heard, so you also get out of the way. It's just the one gunshot that goes off. But you hear the sound of scuffling from further in the store. From where you are as well, Helen, you also hear a gunshot again inside the store.
Yeah, so I'm going to move back into the store itself. I've got my gun out. I don't know the sheriff's there, but I know Kyle is there. Anybody else gets shot as I move through the store?
Okay.
I'll say to the sheriff as well. There must be more of them inside.
All right, listen up. Listen up. This is Sheriff Hollander. I want you to put down your gun and come out with your hands up. I hate to break it to you boys. This is not coupon day. You do not get to shop here and take stuff without putting down cash. It's not a done thing, especially after hours. Now put the fucking gun down, step away, hands up where I can see you so I've got a better target. Now,
let me just consult my notes a moment.
New York squaddy suddenly coming back in.
Indeed.
And I use that moment to... Well, now I know the sheriff's there, so it's 2 people I'm looking out for to not shoot, but anybody else gets shot, and I'm just trying to sneakily move around and check every aisle.
Okay, so... okay, so Dominic, you sort of go quiet for maybe 15 seconds, and you hear the sound of kind of a quite clumsy maneuver, like someone was trying to sneak up around the store down one of the aisles, but you hear it quite easily, so you know that someone's approaching. You don't know if it's the one with the gun or if there's any more people in here, but you definitely hear them.
I have my gun readied in that direction.
So what I'll do then, considering you were sort of readied and he didn't do very well at all at his stealth, is I'll give you advantage if you want to fire as he comes around.
Okay.
So basically exactly the same as disadvantage, except the opposite. So you take the lowest roll.
Okay. Well, this could be a very interesting roll. Okay. If I'm reading that right... Oh, yeah, that was an extreme success. I rolled 4.
Oh, very nice indeed. Okay. Roll your damage.
Does this get doubled or anything?
No, there is some kind of rule if you do like a 1 and you crit. You've done extremely well, but you haven't critted.
9.
So what I'll do, because 9, fantastic. Okay. Okay, so as he comes around, you only see him for a glimpse. You're not quite sure if he's armed, but you're too busy readying just in case he is. Describe how you get him square in the chest.
As he moves round, it's standard cop training. He's tried to sneak around. I know that somebody is armed. 2 and 2 together. I know that there are civilians in this shop. If I get floored, there's more chance of them getting hurt. All of that. The moment he steps into range, training just, 30 years of being on the force take over.
Fabulous. Okay, so you come off. You wouldn't really call it a high, but you come out of the zone.
Yeah.
Quite pleased with yourself, and in fact, you realise who it is who you shot. It is somebody who was a convicted rapist. However, as he hits the floor and the sound of the gun kind of rings out, it drowns out the sound of somebody else running towards you. However, this guy who's coming towards you, he's armed with a baseball bat, but he aims wide and he doesn't manage to hit you or cause you any impact.
Okay.
You have to sort of clumsily stumble out of the way, though. He is now in melee range.
Can I try and make a grab for him to try and pull him off the sheriff?
Yes, you can. If you want to make me an opposed brawl check.
7.
Oh, okay.
This is one away from the extreme.
Not quite as good as yours, though. Yeah. So, what you're doing, sort of from behind or coming in front?
Grab him around the shoulder, his neck, and just trying to wrestle him away from the sheriff.
Okay. You do so. You manage to sort of twist his wrist so the baseball bat drops, and you disarm him fairly easily. Although he is strong, it takes all of your effort to what's the word? I've forgotten what it's called now. To disarm him, basically. From where you are, Helen, as well. You also hear someone, you think maybe trying to make a run for it. You hear them coming towards the office where you are.
So did you say towards me?
Yeah, towards you, as if to get out of the office entrance.
Okay, I turn to face and I'm braced to shoot. What do I see?
Okay. You actually see the criminal whom Kyle seemed to recognize earlier. He's got a sort of 5 o'clock shadow, rather badly shaven. He looks a bit malnourished. He's not wounded, but he is armed.
Now, hon, you want to put that weapon down? This is nothing to get shot over now, is it? And you know that's true. If he keeps coming towards me, I'll shoot.
Yeah, he's sort of slowed down, but he's still got the gun, and he's trying to tell you to shush.
Okay, I shoot.
Bitch. Okay, roll your shootingness.
I shoot wide, and I say, "I'm serious now. Don't make me shoot you."
All right. Okay. I'll come clean. And he starts sort of backing away, with the gun kind of held up a little bit. You're not quite sure if he's just messing. If you've got psychology, you could give me a roll in that.
Sure. not much, but I have some. Ooh. No, that's a little too much luck to use. It's not far off, but it's...
Okay. All right. In that case, you take a little while to try and read him, and he's kind of changing his expression a little bit. You're not deducing what his intentions really are. But then those quickly become irrelevant as the ceiling just behind him, just like a section of the ceiling, pours in.
A reflex action is I shoot, thinking he's done, is attacking, because that's
Okay.
start.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, and that's a hard success.
Okay, roll your damage.
It is a D10 apparently. 4.
Excuse me. Okay, so you managed to get him sort of in the fleshy part of the shoulder. It makes him stagger back, but then with the rubble coming down, the first sort of part comes down, and then he comes back. Another bit comes down as well, and he gets hit on top of the head, causing him to actually sort of stagger back a bit more, and then fall flat. He's got sort of dust and debris all over him. You think he might be unconscious. He's bleeding a bit. He's not dead by any means.
The gun's still pointing, but I'm shaking a bit.
And of course, the other you hear that gunshot, and you would have also seen something come down from the ceiling near the back of the store.
Yeah. First of all, having regained my sort of composure, I point my gun pretty much in the direction of both of them, but specifically to the guy who came at me with a bat, and say, right, enough, right now. What? Stupid hick always... Isn't that just like a hick brings a bat to a gunfight? Sit down. Or you're going to join your friend in a limp leg league. Sit down.
You think he might actually be the only one now that's conscious, because 2 of them are shot, and there's the other one who's under a load of debris. Now with a sort of a pool of flattening coke, as you realise that some of the sort of Coca-Cola display has also been damaged by this cave-in. So yeah, I mean, where do you want to put him?
First of all, just to try and lighten the sort of obvious tension, because I know Helen's sort of shaking. I sort of look at the guy. I take it he's got a... What sort of expression does our unconscious friend have?
I suppose a bit sort of tense, as if he's been knocked back and hit by something. Not very...
I sort of look round to her and say, right, you should do cola for breach of advertising. Have a Coke and a smile, they say. He's not fucking smiling. You have rope here? You have a rope here, yes?
We've got some rope, yeah.
Yeah, tie him up.
I'll climb back over the rubble.
I don't care if it's wads of gaffer tape. Just have him tied up. I'm taking my cuffs to Mr. Baseball Bat.
I'll climb back over the rubble as well to Helen and check out her arm.
Do you want some price tags with the string?
He's practically worthless, honey. I wouldn't waste the energy.
Of course.
I get on the walkie-talkie again to the station. This is the sheriff. Can you guys hear me?
There's sort of white noise for a little bit. You can hear a little bit of speech coming through, but it's nowhere near enough to understand what they're saying.
Where the roofs come down, is there a lot of weather coming in now? Is it open to outside?
There is sort of an insulation layer in the sort of the top, so it's only the ceiling per se. You know what the public can come through. You can see the roof through, but even then, you can see there's damage. There's sort of smaller sections of the roof that have started coming in.
Well, we might not be able to stay here very long if that keeps on like that.
I'm rather tempted
don't know how
to.
much room is left up there.
My main concern is getting to my officers. You can come with me.
What are you going to do with these two?
Well,
Sheriff, there's a man tooting the horn of your car.
I have a look outside.
So, because you picked somebody up, didn't you? I'm wondering if your car's even still there.
Yes, I did.
I'm a bit confused.
No, I picked up a passenger on the road on the way in.
Oh yes, of course. There's that guy out there, of course.
I completely forgot in all this excitement.
Your car's still there then?
Yeah, car is still there, but you actually, as you're standing in this rather sort of eerie scene, you actually feel and can see the walls sort of sway a little bit now.
Yeah, we need to get out of here now.
Tell him we're going to have to go. We'll have to bandage your arm at the police station.
My arm's fine. Let me get the register. I actually head out back, not to the cash register itself, and grab the safe. Well, open the safe and grab what's in it, which will be presumably a week's takings.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you head down. We start to head down the quickest way to the main doors. Presumably that's the way you're going out. Sorry, not the back.
We'd go out the front because that's where the cars are.
Cars, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's fine. So you head a little bit down. You hear a little bit more of the ceiling come through, but then there's a much more concerning noise, and that's coming from beneath your feet. It's almost like something being ripped, as if the very infrastructure itself is coming apart.
What the?
I think the sewers is going to blow.
You actually, you see, because you're sort of going down a freezer aisle, you see the freezers, they kind of start teetering, and you actually see a fissure start opening up. It rips the very fabric of the floor, and you can see the ground and foundations beneath it. It sort of comes out to like a few inches wide. You can still go through, but it spreads all the way down out of the door.
Oh fuck!
We've got to get out of this shop.
Move now! Go!
Okay. Fabuloso. Okay, so you start running very, very quickly. Get out of the doors. As you do so, you see, as you go out, this fissure has spread all the way down past the highway, and it's getting bigger. And in fact, where all the rain is pelting down onto the highway tarmac, you can see sort of like a white light emitting just, from the reflection of the rain and so on. But then, Dominic, you see, well, you think you see is there inside the fissure. You're curious, and in fact the other two as well. You get this strange feeling of curiosity in this mad situation. Can all of you make me sanity rolls, please?
I pass.
What's my sanity?
Oh, fuck no.
Oh, I passed.
No.
Okay.
What am I looking at?
Okay, so Dominic, you sort of you feel closer to the fissure. Maybe you ran towards it. You don't know, but suddenly you're right on the edge of it, on the highway where there's already a bit of a cliff at this side, and you gaze in. You can't stop gazing. It's this sort of this swirling, sort of beautiful gold dust. And yet there's this noise that comes with it, almost like some kind of animal getting slaughtered, getting tortured. It's absolutely horrible, and yet you can't look away. You can't stop listening. There's something about it, like you need to know more. Can you please take 4 sanity damage off your total? The other two who passed, you basically see Dominic stagger like a drunkard towards the fissure, as if he's going to fall in.
Well, when I get to the car, I'll toot the horn.
I'm going to go after Dominic and I'm going to grab his arm. What are you doing, man? Get to the car.
When your arm is grabbed by Kyle, you kind of you snap out of it. You still feel the presence of it, but it's not nearly as strong. But the pulling does take you out of it.
Get to the car.
You've got quite a searing headache.
Let's go. Oh, let's go. Fuck. Oh. Right, I get in the car, start it up.
Okay, and you bundle into the car. So this fissure actually kind of veers down the road a bit. It's got a bit of a curve, and it's actually taken away some of the highway. Who's driving this one?
Well, we've each got our own cars. So I'm just curious as to whether the police car has enough space for all of the people he's arrested.
True.
There's no way we're going to be able to drag them all anyway.
No.
So I'm just going to take the one conscious one who I cuffed, the one with a leg wound, and the one who's been tied up, who's unconscious.
You can drag them into the back.
I can send deputies to get them.
Okay. Yeah, so it's Mr. Bull, the drug dealer who you've got cuffed. Yeah. You come back into the zone, you bundle him in the car. So Kyle and Helen, are you driving together?
Yeah, if there's no room in the police car, we're gonna have to. Are you ready to drive, Helen?
It'd be a tight
Yeah.
squeeze. It'd be a tight squeeze in the car, but you know.
I might be losing my shop, but I'm not losing bread. Oh my God, Mr. Money'sworth! And I run back into the shop.
Okay. So you run back in. There is more noise now coming from sort of bank directions. Everything is now shaking, alarmingly so. There are displays falling down. There's sort of broken glass in a lot of places. And you hear this sort of very, very low, almost like a subwoofer, sort of coming from below.
Where are you, kitty?
You do eventually hear meow, meow, coming from near the office.
I run to the office. I grab him by the neck, just pick him straight up by the neck, and sprint out back to the car. It might not be particularly comfortable for him, but at least he won't wriggle whilst he's held by the neck.
Okay. Can you make me another sanity roll, please, Helen?
Okay. I pass.
Okay. So you see, what's it called again, Mr. Money'sworth?
Yes.
You see him kind of get a bit agitated, and he kind of does that a bit. But he's obviously scared. But you feel scared too. You feel this empathy from the cat, which makes you stop just briefly, and then you're okay to move again.
Yeah, and I'll get him into the pickup.
Oh, give him here. I'll take him.
Put him onto Carl's lap and drive off.
Okay. Right, so you start hurtling down the highway. Again, it's sort of maybe 3 miles towards the jail, or what you want to call it. And you see this fissure kind of breaking away that first bit of road just for the first sort of half a mile. And there's a lot of water now on the road. Can each of you who are driving make me driving rolls, please?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuckity fuck. I see your fuck and add a fuckity fuck. It's, yeah. That's really bad.
How bad are we talking?
It's not quite a critical, but it's fairly bad.
Okay. What about you, Helen?
92. So in the same region as Ronnie there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So it's almost like you overshoot it. You're so worried about this sort of erosion from the road that you turn too hard the other way. You actually head back into a section of the forest, and each of you kind of impact your vehicle with a tree. For Helen, it's the side, so your window, and for Dominic, it's the front of the car.
Oh shit! Ouch. I will
interestingly, as you come to your senses, you hear the sound of your receiver actually getting a bit more signal. Sheriff!
This is Sheriff Hollander. It's a bit wild out here.
Damn right it is. It's your deputy. They shot me, sir. When they escaped. I'm okay. I'll survive, but help.
And I'm going to ask a question, and please bear in mind, Deputy, that when I ask this question, I'm referring to biology, not geography. Okay? Where were you shot?
Just in the knee, sir.
That's not so bad. You've got another one spare. It's fine. I'll be there as soon as I can tear this car away from this tree and regain some sort of sense of self. Sheriff out. Because unfortunately, being a New York policeman for many years, he will not have been wearing his seatbelt when he hit the tree. So I would have went. And if I don't have an airbag, I really would have felt it.
It's 1980. Nobody's got an airbag.
That's true. Well, yeah, in that case, I felt it. I would have. If I didn't head out the windshield, I've head-butted myself through on it.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Come on, Bertie, don't let me down, and I restart the car.
I think the sheriff crashed it a little way ahead there. I can't see if you
what? So Helen, yeah, your car's still got life in it. It does start after a couple of turns.
Yeah.
Okay. I reverse the car, and if all sounds well, I'll check if the sheriff's car's moving.
I'm doing my best. Come on, yeah.
In your car, there's a little bit of a almost like a sort of a shuddering.
Come on, you piece of shit.
Jared, get in
I'll
the
toot
back
the
of the
horn, and I'll put my hand out the window and point to the back of the pickup, and I'll toot it with my other arm. I'll toot the horn.
Okay. First of all, how is my passenger? And how is my
It's a
prisoner?
Oh, I see.
Your prisoner's fallen unconscious from loss of blood. Your passenger, well, you turn to him. He's been extremely quiet. He has his eyes fixed in the left wing mirror, and he's just not looking away.
I'm going to jump out of the pickup, making sure Mr. Moneyworth is okay,
Um,
and I'm going to run round to the sheriff's car.
I shake the passenger, the shoulder and say, "What can you see?"
He's still not saying anything, but his breathing, he's kind of got his mouth gaped open like that, and it just makes his breathing more intense and louder.
Trust me, son, unless you're doing that down a phone, it's not fun. What do you see?
After maybe a few more seconds, are you still sort of patting him on the shoulder as well? He starts sort of maybe uttering something. It's kind of like, just sort of a noise like that.
Oh, buggeration. Right. I get out the car as nimbly as I am able, go round to the passenger side to let him out and also to let the prisoner out. I might have to break the glass to do that, actually, for the prisoner's side, because they're usually child locked.
I'll come over and help you carry the prisoner to the pickup.
My passenger may need carried as well. I think it's all getting to him.
Okay, I'll go in then and say, "Come on, quick, into the pickup."
There's only 2 seats in Birdie, so I'll have to use the back.
That's fine. I can use the back.
You're right, Mr. Moneyworth. It'll be okay. Mummy'll make it okay.
So we'll lift the prisoner into the back.
Yeah, I'll stay with the prisoner.
How cooperative is the passenger being? Is he moving or?
He's kind of stiff.
What's wrong?
He doesn't want to walk. He's still fixed on this wing mirror, but the both of you, if you look, can't see anything. The noise he's making is actually getting louder and longer.
Can I
Kind of a distressed animal, like a deer or a sheep.
Can I slap him?
Okay, you slap him. He kind of
Snap out of
almost like he's sort of numb or something. He kind of does that, and he stops. He doesn't utter anything else, but he doesn't say anything either.
Okay, can we just sort of lead him to the back of the truck and push him in?
Get him in the back seat. I'll stay at the back of the truck with the prisoner. You get him in the back seat. He's in shock.
Okay.
He needs the warmth.
There's a passenger seat, there's a driver's seat, and there's a sunbed.
Oh, well, in that case, he's in the back with me.
Okay, I'll climb back in and grab Mr. Moneyworth.
Police station now. My deputy's down.
And I'll drive off, but I'll be more cautious now.
Okay. You get back onto the road, and maybe a minute further down, the fissure ends where the road is, and it's much more safer to drive. And in fact, you actually realize that the weather has subsided a little bit. It's not raining quite as badly anymore.
Okay, I'll pick the speed up a little bit then.
Oh, talk about a flash in a pan.
So I'll say that you get down to the jail. The next few minutes are uneventful for a change. Until you start getting out the passenger and the prisoner. As you kind of come to a stop and start opening the doors, because it's now quieter outside, you actually hear the sound of the passenger whispering something over and over again. Predator meets prey. Predator meets prey. And he slowly gets louder and louder with this sentence.
Is that
Right.
a film or something?
Yes, I think I think he's requiring a sedative. I've seen cases like this. Usually, a mild sedative is enough to at least placate them for a little while. Take the butt of my revolver and just go.
Fair enough. You knock him out.
Mild sedative. 80s police style. Right, I fireman lift him into the building.
Okay.
What about this prisoner?
I'll get him next. Make sure he doesn't go anywhere.
Is it still
Pick up Mr. Money's work.
is it still rough and stormy out? Is it still raining and windy and
Well, yes, but again, not as much. In fact, you definitely feel that the wind has died down. It perhaps you're in the eye of the storm. It's kind of got that strange sort of light breeze, but it's surging round a little bit.
Well,
I'll say that as you... Oh, go ahead.
Well, if we are in the eye of the storm, let's get the fuck in here before we get the second half.
Indeed, and I'll say that as you get in to the jail as a place of refuge, why don't we take just a 5-minute break so I can go for a loo and well, a loo, the loo and things.
Outie dokie.
okay?
Return momentarily.
Yeah, back in 5.
I'm back.
Me too. And hello to our one viewer who has been with us since all the time.
Okay,
Who
I
are
will
you?
briefly try camera while people aren't talking.
Mhm.
Which
Trying
makes
to-
me wonder: is it Lord Mobius?
Could well be. I haven't been checking the chat actually. So
Ooh,
I'll have a little look just in case.
it's not.
It could be. It might be Fiona having a bit of a nosy. Also, my friend Stephen, who was watching the Savage Worlds game, I did
Mhm.
tell him that this would be the next campaign that this group would be running, and told him which channel to find it. So it might be him watching.
True.
And if it
I
is you,
can't
Stevie,
actually see.
hi.
Oh wait, it's a cam. What the fuck am I talking about? Link and everything. I've totally done Hangouts before. A long time ago. Ah, it is Steve.
Yay! Hiya, Steve.
Wow, he's super quick on the keyboard. I am impressed. He's already reacted to your comments. Well, greetings, sir. I hope you're enjoying it.
He's,
Okay, that's the.
He is. He's specific. I know he was particularly interested because, like myself, he's a Call of Cthulhu player from way back, sort of 3rd and 4th edition Cthulhu. So he was looking forward to having a watch of this, and so hiya, Steve. See you on Saturday, mate. As we are attending a wedding of a friend of ours.
Okay, are we ready to resume?
Yep.
We.
Okay. So you head in. There's a sense of calm for a change. Mostly there is no damage, certainly in the sort of headquarters part. Remember that there was some talk of the jail cell being damaged, but at least the part where you have your habitat, as it were, as a cop, is fine. You see your Deputy Daniels stagger around. He's obviously heard you come in. He's managed to sort of put a splint on his knee, but he's kind of dragging it a little bit for now, and he's kind of leaning on furniture to help him. Oh, thank God! I thought you'd gotten really bad out there.
It was touch and go for a moment. How bad's the damage in here?
Well, the tree went down into 2 cells, right in between, like cutting them in half.
The cells or the people?
So no one's going to be staying in. Well, those are the only 2, and as I said, their occupants escaped. Somehow,
right, we have
another 2.
We have one escapee here. There's another 2 at the general store. I need those picked up. We need to coordinate with local fire service and ambulance to try and clear the roads. Because if we're damaged, then we won't be the only places.
Yeah, I've already contacted them, but as you know, they're a little bit away, near towards well, not towards Charlottesville, but out in that direction. They've had their own problems too. They're putting us next on the list, as it were, so they'll be here hopefully in the hour. But apart from that, it's been distress call after distress call, people panicking. Although I did have a bit of a strange call, just someone repeating the same thing over and over again. Didn't really know what it meant.
What did they say?
They were talking about Antarctica, I think it was, or maybe it was the Arctic. I always get those 2 mixed up.
Yeah. Listen, get on the phone. I want you to start coordinating with local hospitals. I've got a feeling that this is going to be mass casualty night for all of them. Make sure that they stay on us so that they know we're here and need help.
Yes, sir. And he sort of staggers to a little office, kind of falls into a chair, and then he kind of gets his phone, papers, and things, and starts ringing the various contacts again.
Contact the local territorial army. Get them on alert.
Oh, yeah, good thinking. Yeah.
National Guard. Territorial, that's the British. National Guard. Get them on alert.
I wasn't quite sure what they called back then. Okay.
Do with some engineers, too, to rebuild the road.
Yes, ma'am. Engineers too. Okay.
Hey, Sheriff, where can we put this guy? Sort of holding the passenger.
Put him in my office for now. I would have offered him a cell, but I've got a feeling that's not going to be an option. I go to the back of the building where the cells are to actually check the damage for myself.
I'll drop this guy in the office.
Okay, so as you know, the jail itself, as a building, is made of quite sort of strong brick.
Yeah.
But you can see in the back where there's sort of a row of about 6 cells, near, I suppose, the last 3 at the end, you can see that a tree has indeed felled into the cell, so it's kind of come through the wall, and therefore, if there were people in there, which there obviously were, they could have, with some effort, climbed out.
Fuck me. And people wonder why we cut trees down. Okay. Daniels. Obviously, our cells aren't open. Obviously, our cells aren't open for business at the moment. I contact the nearest sheriff's office. Tell them we may have some people for them to hold for us.
Say the last bit again, sorry, Ronnie.
Contact the nearest sheriff's office. We might have prisoners for them to hold on our behalf. We can't keep them here.
Yes, sir. By the way, I'm surprised you can go in there. I had to have a whiskey after I went in there. Would you like one, by the way?
Well, if
I am not going to drink whiskey at a time like this. I'm a man in shock. I need medicinal purposes. There's a bottle of vodka in my bottom drawer. Please go get.
Oh, yeah, sorry, vodka, not whiskey. Gotcha. Well, you don't stay in there too long, you hear?
I will be in and out after I've taken a good, proper medicinal dose.
And just to check, sorry, the other 2 of you in with him?
In the cells? No, I was
in the sort of cell area.
I was going to drop off the passenger into Dominic's office, and then I was going to go perhaps in search of some coffee for myself and Helen.
What about you, Helen?
Well, I'm just here cuddling Mr. Money'sworth, which I was until a moment ago in real life.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep the kitty settled and find it. I'm probably at the moment just trying to get him comfortable, get some water out for him, and I'm probably looking through cupboards to see if there's any food he can eat and stuff.
Okay.
In a cop shop?
Well, there'll be food. You got cells, so there'll be food. Just gotta find some meat.
What kind of... Is it a dog?
It's a cat.
A cat? You know, the irony is there's probably hot dogs somewhere. It's a cop shop. Yeah, I go to my office. I have a small swig from the bottle in my bottom drawer, and then immediately head back out the office.
Okay. As you
Helen a coffee.
Okay. As you take a swig and sort of let the taste go down you just for that few seconds, you realize, Dominic, that it is eerily quiet in this room, even with the huge break in the wall, and sure there would be sort of noise from outside, you know, the odd vehicle or the wind. It's like there's nothing.
Instinctively, my hand goes to my holster.
Okay.
I gently place the vodka down. The revolver is removed from the holster, and I do a slow 360 round with the gun.
Okay, as you do that, make me a listen check.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Oh, Jesus, just
pass.
Yeah, well, by a couple, but still, it was close.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're slowly doing a 360, so it takes you a while to realize this. But the hole, the damaged hole, is where there is the most absence of sound. Almost in an unnatural way. As if someone has turned down a radio to mute.
Okay. I walk out of my office. I drag the person that I drag our passenger, the one I unconscious. I lift him.
Yep.
I place my gun back in my holster. I fireman's lift him back out the office and place him next to Daniels instead.
Mm-hmm.
Daniels, no one but no one goes into my office until I say so.
Oh, okay, sure. Whatever you say.
No one.
Something wrong, Sheriff?
There's a hole in my office, which, you know, given the weather, structural damage isn't really a problem. The problem is there's no fucking sound at that hole. There's not a breath of wind, not a scratch, not a scuffle of rock meeting wood. Fuck all.
I'm just
Not a
gonna
thing.
pop my head out the front of the front door and just see if it's quiet out there.
Okay. You pop your head out, and you think you might still be in the eye, but there's still sort of swirling. You hear the sound of a horn in the distance further down the road. There's a little bit of sound from the trees behind you. But as you come back in to close the door, you actually notice a piece of paper on the floor.
Okay, that doesn't strike me as unusual. There's a lot of debris about.
This piece of paper, however, is dry.
Oh, Probably Deputy Daniels must have dropped it with all the kerfuffle or something. I just pick it up to take it back to his desk.
Okay. Do you look at it or just take it back?
I've no more than the briefest glance.
Okay, you glance. It's addressed to somebody in typing font, as it were. You don't really think anything of it until you realise that it's addressed to Katie.
Oh, the barmaid. Oh, it must be a letter for her. From her fiancé, Ben. Wait, Antarctica. Say, Deputy Daniels is Ben? Oh, no, wait. No, he was in mental hospital. Okay. Now, what's it doing here? Deputy Daniels? The mental institute nowhere near it.
No, it's in Charlottesville.
It's just... You mentioned a call from Antarctica? Was it a man's voice?
I think that's what they said.
Wait, but was it a man?
Well, I think so. They were very raspy. Almost like they were being choked while they were saying it.
You know, that reminds me of something Katie told me. Katie's a barmaid down at the local, and she knows this guy called Ben from the mental home, and he talked about one of those places. I always get them muddled myself, and this looks like a letter he would have sent, and I just don't know why it would be here.
He sort of holds his hand out to take it from you.
I pass it over to him.
Yeah, it is a little bit strange. He then looks at the back and he kind of stops. He sort of does that as if he's reading it wrong.
Sorry, I can't actually see. I've got my video.
Oh, right, so he's sort of doing that as if he's not seeing it or reading it wrong. He then looks up at his desk and there's like a little calendar. And he checks the calendar and says, "Say, this date is from next week."
What, and the postmark?
It's been printed on the back of the envelope. Look. And he passes it back to you. And it is a week from now.
Deputy Daniels, given the circumstances that call makes it an active police investigation, would this be considered evidence that you could open it up and look at it?
I don't see what it's got to do with all that's been happening, ma'am. It may have just been a mistake. Maybe he looked at the wrong week. He probably doesn't know what day it is in there, let alone what week it is.
To the date, I'm referring to the fact that you had a call of polls, and this letter is from a man that writes about polls. So isn't it an active case? I mean, we could just check it to see if there's anything related to the incident that was reported on the phone call.
Ma'am, you're making a massive stretch here, but if you insist...
Am I within earshot of all of this?
Just the quickest check.
I was going to say, well, how with all this going on, this storm, it could just fall open.
Dominic, you can hear snippets. You hear the sound of there's obviously an envelope that Helen's picked up, and the date is wrong on it.
What's wrong with the date?
Well, it's addressed next week, but what's more interesting is this is a letter from Katie's fiancé in the mental home, Ben. And he was the one that talked about Antarctica and Arctica or whatever Arctica it is. And you had a call that Deputy Daniels took where somebody was ranting something about one of those Arcticers.
Daniels? Daniels, I want you to phone a local sanatorium, see if they've made any calls to this sheriff's office, or if any of their inmates have made calls to this office this evening.
Okay. All right. I will get on with it. I still think it's a stretch,
Well,
but I'll try it.
I share your skepticism, Daniels, which is why, if there's been absolutely no phone call at all from that sanatorium, I think we can put it down to wishful connecting. Meanwhile, file this envelope under pending.
All right. He sort of just fairly carelessly puts it in the pending box.
There you go. Local police at work.
You okay there, Mr. Money'sworth?
Meow.
Ah, there's my kitty.
Am I right? Sorry that the passenger of the car is in this like communal area with you.
Yes, when I found that sort of blank spot in my office, I brought him back out and put him in the communal area because I have this horrible idea of leaving him in there, and no, after everything that's happened tonight, no.
That's fine. You actually see that he's nodded off in his chair.
Oh, good. He's
Maybe it was
my sedative.
well. Yes, your sedative. Yeah. But even in this sort of bright communal room, and there's like a nice smell of coffee. That silence did bug you.
Yeah, I sort of find myself a seat and just sit down just to give myself time to sort of tick the facts, i.e. what I've actually seen and experienced this evening, just to tick them over, ruminate upon them. Because that was not normal weather, even for Virginia.
Is there a lot of phone calls coming into the sheriff's office?
No, not really. About 15 minutes passes since you arrived, and there is a phone call. It's quite a typical distress call, though. Somebody's door has blown off, somebody's front door, and a bit of their porch is damaged, but it's nothing out of the ordinary.
I would have thought there'd been more calls.
Maybe the lines are down.
That's my fear. Which means a lot of Daniel's calling is going to be to static.
Well, it depends. Which line and where?
In fact, as time goes on, and you do see that the Daniels does try his best, but fewer calls are coming in. And the thing that's most concerning is you take a look at the time, and it's been nearly 3 hours, and there's no sign of any ambulance or no report from the National Guard or anything.
Is
If
Daniels
this
are you
is
getting
still
any line outside of the town?
if this is still the eye of the storm after 3 hours,
No,
I think it's over, guys.
I think it's possibly over here, maybe. I have a fear
I mean,
that what we've just
said that
gotten, a whole lot of other places are getting the full force of it right now. I think we're on our own for now.
Well, if it's safe, how about I deliver that letter to Katie?
We do need to head back into town, survey the damage. Daniels, you're on prisoner watch. If he makes a run for
Okay.
it, shoot him.
Yeah, sure. Fine.
I find actually I'm looking for a first aid kit. We bound to have one as a police station.
Yeah.
And do my best just to get some bandages round his leg wound. My
Yeah, he does
deputies, that is.
sound. Yeah, he does sound a little bit kind of as if he's either extremely relaxed or maybe a bit doolally. He's obviously not doing as much work as he was now as well. He's kind of more sort of like back in his chair like this, just sort of hands slumped over.
Better put his leg up as well, stop it bleeding.
I'm going to go for a knowledge roll. Can I tell whether this bullet is a through and through? Or whether it's lodged into his leg?
Okay, do you have first aid?
I
Yeah, I do actually. I did put some
Okay.
on that.
Make a first aid roll.
And that would be an extreme success.
Okay. So you think it can be taken out, but it would need to be done by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, hospital. But at the
So it's-
minute, you're definitely thinking leave it where it is because it will cause more harm if you try and pull it out.
Yeah, so it's not a through and through. Oh, that bullet's going to cause problems. If he keeps...
You must have some more deputies available to you, Sheriff. You got a jail here and people, and you need at least 3 just to man the place 24 hours. That's without holidays.
I got a couple of full times. I got a couple of part times, but you know, it's small town, Miss Monroe.
Quiet shift tonight. You only had Daniels and yourself on the night.
I think the situation calls for you to call in people on the day off.
That's the first thing I'm going to do is get on the blower. I'm going to call or attempt to call all my off duties, both full and part time, and get them
retired.
and get them on the clock. I'm hoping that they're actually in about the community.
Okay.
But
Already.
you're
And
gonna
that way,
need. We got to get Daniels to the hospital. Well, if you like, I could do that.
where is the nearest hospital?
The nearest hospital is a little bit away from here. It's back up towards Charlottesville, maybe 10 miles away.
Is there a doctor?
Yeah, doctor's surgery.
There would be a small surgery, yes, but only a small one.
Does
They'll
the
have to do.
live locally?
It'll have to do. At the very
I'll
least.
take
Yeah, the
Daniels
doctor-
to
Okay. The doctor's surgery is down the road, the opposite direction towards Wintergreen.
Okay.
Come
If
on,
you
Mr.
could-
Money'sworth. We'll drive.
I'll give you a hand, Helen, because you're going to have to carry him in and out of the office, the doctor's office.
Sure. And I'll deliver that letter to Katie while I'm at it, and I pick it up out of the pending folder.
Okay.
So if he goes inside the pickup with Helen, I'll ride in the back,
All right.
seeing he's that injured.
Did I manage to contact any of my other deputies?
Well, you think the radio was working. You didn't get any reply specifically, but you think you would have at least relayed it to them.
Yeah. Basically, the message is you're no longer off duty. I want, when you hear this, you are officially on duty. I need you helping with crowd control, assessing the damage, making sure the people are okay in the town. I'm on my way.
When we're out and about, are there any people around?
So you look around, you've kind of come out, and there's like a sort of a small lake on the other side of the road. There's nobody about. In terms of sort of sounds as well, there's minimal. It's just sort of nature, so wind in the trees, the odd sound of a fox. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Very eerie.
Yeah, very.
So I'm going to put Mr. Money'sworth in Deputy Daniel's lap and start driving back into town. Pickup truck, by the way, is strewn with cassette tapes. Most of them are sort of Les Brown, Glenn Lewis, and Rhea McKeon there for the modern folk.
Okay, so just remind me, are you taking him to the local surgery, which
Yeah.
is sort of
Factory first.
right? Okay, so that's heading further down the hill, round to Wintergreen.
Mhm.
So that would take you away from sort of the rest of Stony Creek, just sort of outside of Stony Creek.
Yeah, but he clearly needs medical attention. He must have lost a
No,
lot of
that's
blood to
fine,
his
that's fine.
disease.
I'm just making sure you're okay with that. Okay, and actually, come to think of it, you think that that Katie is from near Wintergreen as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you head to the surgery. Is anybody going with her?
Yeah, I'm going to go so I can help carry the deputy.
Okay,
And I am heading back into Stony Creek.
you're going back to Stony Creek. Okay, in the pickup truck. Well, what's left of it?
There's going to be another. There's bound to be another cop car.
Yeah,
at
there will be.
station. So yeah, heading my way back in.
Okay,
Got to assess the damage, see what's going on, make sure people are okay.
indeed. Okay, then let's go down the hill first with Helen and with Kyle. So you head down. Interestingly, there's a lot more light, even though it's dark. There's a lot more moonlight coming. No real sort of clouds anywhere up above. There's still this sort of light breeze, but you're thinking more and more as you're driving that, whatever happened is over. Having said that, when you reach the surgery, it's all locked up. Nobody there.
Damn. Okay, I grab Deputy Daniel's radio.
Yeah.
Say, Sheriff, I don't suppose you know where the surgeon lives, do you? The doctor?
You would know that the doctor would live very close to the surgery. Maybe just around the corner somewhere, but you don't know the exact address.
Okay. I guess I'll knock a few doors.
Right.
Locals must know.
If you want to go one side of the street, I'll go the other.
Okay.
All right, coolio. You don't need to roll or anything. I'll say that after a little while, you do manage to track down the surgeon or the doctor. He's very disorientated, is in his nightwear. He was really not expecting this. Although weirdly, it seems like he's been asleep for a long time. But he comes out anyway, and he obviously sees what's up, and he's willing to come and open it up in order to, supply medical assistance.
Yeah, I mean, he got shot, and he seems to have lost a lot of blood. He's kind of entered a euphoric state. The bullet's still in there. We just patched it up as best we could. So if it's okay with you, I'll leave him in your hands.
Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Yes, okay. I will open up and see to him
Haven't you
as soon
had
as I can.
any other injured people?
Injured people? Why would I? Apart from the usual.
Because of the storm.
Storm? There's been a storm?
Is there any
What storm?
signs of the storm in this part of the village?
No, not at all.
Storm up in Nellisford when you've, Stony Creek. When you finish dealing with him, it might be an idea to grab as many medical supplies as you can and head into Stony Creek. I think there's going to be a lot of people hurt. Any assistance you could get with lives.
Yes, I will do that immediately.
I can't believe it.
But I will get to this man first.
I can't believe it's so localized.
Yes.
It was huge, that storm.
Yeah, just from looking at that storm when you first saw it, there is no way it could have skimmed this part. If it went through Stony Creek, it would have gone through Wintergreen as well.
Must have been lucky with the way the hills or something work. Or the trees, I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm going to, as we drop Deputy Daniels off, I'm going to still have the deputy's radio.
Okay.
It was something strange about that storm. The lightning was just the wrong colour as well.
There was all manner of things wrong with that storm. Anyway, let's go and see Katie. I want to drop this letter off before we head back into Stony Creek.
Okay.
Okay. So you do find out where she lives, and you knock on the door, and there is no answer.
Well, she stayed at the bar.
Oh, of course she was in Stony Creek when it hit. She wouldn't have had time to get back here.
No, she might not be able to get back.
Let's head back to the bar, make sure everything's okay in town.
We could check on the store at the same time.
And I strongly suspect that store is nothing now but an insurance claim waiting to be filled in.
As you she's got sort of like a little porch for her house. As you head down, you actually notice something that you didn't see before when you were heading up. There's actually what you think to be a smear of blood on part of the porch, sort of one of the little supports.
Oh, good grief. I think she did get back here and must be hurt. I'll try the door.
Okay. Let me just have a look at these skills. I don't really mind how you do this, but when you try the door, it is locked.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
I might be able to help out with a
So,
lock.
I'm sorry.
okay. So you want to try and sort of pick the lock?
I'll get a penknife out and try and fiddle the lock.
I say, Carl, where on earth did you learn skills like that?
Will you pick
In Poland?
things up around when you're around? And
Okay.
oh, just made it.
All right. So it takes a bit of time because it's a penknife after all. It's not sort of the actual like perfect tools of a lockpick. But one thing you do notice is okay. Firstly, you sort of put down the pins and do it and so on. But they went down pretty easily, each of the pins, as if someone has broken into here before.
Yeah. So I say, oh, looks like someone's done this before on this place. But there you go.
Oh, poor Katie. I hope she's okay.
So you go into the house, you try the first light, and it doesn't come on. There is a slightly strange smell in here, almost of burning, burning flesh, actually, which does disturb you a little bit. You almost trip over something, actually, as you come in. There's what appears to be a lot of mess as you adjust to the light. You're not really sure what happened here, whether it was because of the storm or something else. But things have been thrown around. There's sort of knickknacks, clothes, something smashed, like a vase, you think.
She's not very tidy, is she?
There's blood on her porch. Give her a break. Katie! Katie! And I try different rooms.
I'll look upstairs.
Okay. Okay. You search the house and there is no sign of her at all. There are a couple of rooms upstairs that don't appear to have been disturbed quite as badly. They just appear to be used generally.
There doesn't seem to be anything here or anybody.
When you say things are everywhere, does it look like it's been burgled?
You get that impression, yes, as somebody who is, used to sort of shoplifters and things like that. This is not something that just happened in the storm. Things have been sort of thrown over as if they're looking maybe for something in one bit, and then they've tampered with something else in another bit.
Yeah. Real me has worked this out. Character, however. And Kyle, I think we may be incriminating ourselves here. I don't think Katie's in at all, and I don't think that blood's hers.
She's definitely not here. What's that burning?
Yeah. Well, that is strange. I'll just check the kitchen, make sure nothing's been left on.
Yeah, you take a look at the kitchen. There's sort of a small little cooker, but it's not lit. If you sort of put your hand over it, it's not warm either. There's no evidence to show that something recently has been, like meat has been cooked in here.
We should have picked up a flashlight from the sheriff's office.
Sorry?
You have to repeat that, babe.
We should have picked up a flashlight.
Oh, I keep stopping to talk because Phil's talking, and I think the lag is sufficient, and that we both talk at the same time, and I'm trying to hear what Phil said.
Go on,
no idea.
carry on.
Well, I think we need to get out of here now, Carl. Firstly, I think she's been burgled and we just incriminated ourselves, and secondly, this place gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, there's something about it, definitely. But that's quite strange because burglars don't normally lock up after themselves.
Well, that is unusual, especially one that seems to have wounded themselves. Come on, let's go.
As you come out of the house the second time and head down the porch, the burning flesh smell is still lingering. And in fact, you realize it is sort of getting a bit stronger. And then you notice the letter in your hand. And when you move it, that definitely has that smell to it.
Well, this is certainly surreal. The letter... The letter smells the same.
Does it? I could lean in and take a sniff. Oh, you're right.
I wonder if...
It's more potent than in the house.
I wonder... This didn't smell like this earlier.
No, I would have noticed that.
You know, I'm really tempted to look inside this letter.
Well, I think possibly we could get away with that under the circumstances.
I think so.
If you get to the truck, we can put the light on.
And we'll do that.
Okay, so you turn the light on. You carefully, maybe reluctantly, open the envelope. And it is also typed like the envelope is. And there are 2 lines. The first one is now very familiar. It says Antarctica. And the second line says Niagara.
Well, that's meaningless.
Yeah.
Just a strange thought. We don't happen to be on a direct line between the two, do we?
I suppose
What do you mean a direct line? Sorry.
between the two on a map.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't know.
I'm asking you, Kyle. I feel ill-qualified for the question.
That is quite strange. Quite strange. I don't know where we get a map list from to check.
Well, let me think about the people in this town who are good at geography, because I know a lot of people. I might be able to think of someone, can I?
Oh, you can make me a no roll if you like. That's education.
Okay. That is a hard pass.
Okay. Yes, there is one other person you can think of in this town who is, say, more well-traveled than average. You're not sure if they learnt geography, as an expert, but they probably know the difference between Niagara and Antarctica, at least, and where they are on a map.
Okay. Where are they? Like, where do they live?
It is actually, you see them sometimes in the bar. They are one of the regulars. They work at the church, the local church, as a gardener.
Well, after a storm like that, there's a fair chance they'd be in the church garden just checking out the damage. Let's try there first, and failing that, we'll head to the bar. Is the church on the way?
The church is indeed on the way. It's sort of back into Stony Creek.
Okay. We'll get back in the car and head up to the church.
Okay. Meanwhile, going back to our, I guess the deputy then, I thought, no, that's not the right rank, to our cop, Dominic. Yeah, so you're heading up in your new pickup truck. And just like the others, you definitely see that there's more light now than there has been for a while. There's definitely no sign of any clouds, no lightning, no thunder or anything. But in particular, the thing that concerns you the most is as you head back up the road, where there was that rather big fissure that you had to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot smaller.
I I slow down. I'm not stopping. I'm sure as hell not getting out. I slow down. I sort of slowly move alongside, just to sort of peer at, to see whether it's just a trick of the light or something, or if it actually does look genuinely smaller.
Yeah, so you're sort of looking different angles. If you imagine when you were going past, it must have been maybe a couple of feet wide, you think, at a glance. Now it is maybe a quarter of that size, at least.
Okay.
It's definitely not a trick of the light.
Yeah. Given everything that's happened and given this new information, I am going to do the one rational thing that I've done all evening. I'm now putting the foot down and heading straight to Stony Creek as fast as this fucking car will take me.
Okay, and remind me whereabouts in Stony Creek you were going.
Basically, I'm just going into town. I want to do a drive by Main Street just to give an assessment of the damage. Maybe see if my deputies are out and about, and if not, my deputies will be my first point of call.
Okay, fine. So yeah, you head up to where the cattle grid was, and it's a similar sort of situation in that obviously there was a big tree that felled there, and it was very difficult to get past the cattle grid. But well, the tree is back up, as if it never fell in the first place.
Yes. See, when I said I'm going faster than I've ever gone before, I'm going to find another gear.
Okay, you make one.
To quote Spaceballs, I am now going to go at ludicrous speed towards the town. Because that's freaking me. That after everything the sheriff has seen tonight, that's freaking. That's the final straw for him. Straight to the town.
Yeah. Okay. So you sort of head on up the lane. There are a few little side roads with some houses that if you want to check those, that's fine. But you keep on going up towards the golf courses, the bar. There's the church as well, a little bit further up as well, up the hill, up towards the lake and so on. And it's really strange. You actually see somebody come out of their house, someone that you passed, and you hear them shouting, and they're kind of doing that at you.
Do I hear what they're shouting, or is it just a general?
Yeah, it's something very, very fleeting that you can't hear.
Yeah, I'm keep going. I'm keeping going because I want into Main Street. I just want to.
Okay. So
when I reach the outskirts of the town, I'm going to slow down to proper speeds.
All right. Okay. You haven't quite reached the outskirts yet. You basically you go past the church. It is quite eerie there, but I mean, is your character religious at all?
I assume I mean, yeah. I think like most people in a small town, he probably goes to Sunday mornings. I wouldn't call him devout, but he'll attend on a Sunday morning, if for no other reason than maybe he feels a small town sheriff's part of the civic duty and all that. But yeah,
okay, sure. Yeah, it feels that sort of calmness, but also that eeriness, in a similar sort of way, not quite as much, but as when you stared out of the hole that broke the cells. But then something even weirder happens in the graveyard sort of area, which is sort of at the front. You see a young buck, just appear as if it was lying down. Perhaps it sees you startled, and then it runs.
Okay. Trying to stay calm. You've seen worse in New York, man. You've definitely seen worse in New York. You know you have. Right. As soon as I hit the town limits, slow
Yep.
down to a more manageable speed, and then up Main Street to sort of survey the damage.
Okay, fine. So basically, if you imagine the main route where potentially there'd be more damage, so Route 151, that's sort of at the bottom. So you've turned up the hill. You kind of come round where there's sort of important landmarks, and then you head up. So you're heading up this sort of windy road called Monachan Drive, which is next to the lake of the same name that I mentioned earlier. So you kind of sort of go in a big circle, and then you'd meet back on the main road if you intend to do that.
Yeah.
Fine. You head to Monachan Drive, and you're slow because there's not really much around here now. You're deep in the forest, but the lake itself has a clearing, and in fact, you know that there's a lot of sort of camping and sort of adventure type activities that happen around here when it's not winter and things like that.
Yeah.
Now it hasn't been that bad so far this year in terms of snow, but unfortunately something else alarms you in that when you pass where you can see the lake, normally in the daytime, of course, you can see it clear as day, and it's completely frozen over. It's crisp white.
Okay, at this point, I stop the car and I get out and I head over to the lake because this is now I take my shotgun with me actually.
Okay.
Because I'm going to use the butt of the shotgun just to sort of tap at the lake.
Okay, yeah,
when
fine.
I get there.
Okay. So you're busy tapping away. I'm going to nip back to the other two for a moment or few. And you said you were making your way back up to the church, were you not? Okay. Yeah. So
as Helen's driving as well, I'm going to keep an eye out to see where the damage starts again.
Indeed. For just as Dominic experienced, it's as if the fissure is getting much smaller in size. The tree by the cattle grid is standing back up. There's not really any sign of damage, or if there is, it's much more minimal than it was from when you saw it before. When you drive up a bit further, you see that there's a light on in a house, and you see that someone's been standing outside, and then when they see you go past, they kind of go,
sorry, I have no video.
Oh, no camera at all. They're kind of like, sort of like a what the fuck sort of look, as in, really? Seriously? Ah, fine. That kind of gesture.
I'll say, Helen, do you notice anything about outside?
I'm going to stop the car. I mean, I assume I still don't have a window, so I smile and say, howdy, neighbor.
Yeah. Why aren't you asleep? Why aren't you in bed? It's a ridiculous time of the night to be racing around here.
Did you miss the storm?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What storm?
There's been a storm raging for hours.
Question, is the fissure in the road on this part of the road?
By the time you've got this far, it's very, very minimal, or it would have been anyway, when you come down.
Okay. Well, maybe you missed it. Anyway, I'm not driving fast, so what's the problem?
But that is the last of you, right? There's no one else racing around here like a lunatic.
What do you mean no one else? We've not seen anybody.
It's
Somebody
Route
just went up.
36. It's a road. Cars drive on roads.
Yeah, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Is that the time we think it is, roughly?
Yeah, you think so. You've been awake for quite some time, and then you had to sort of wait at the jail for a while. So yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. But it's too light for 4 o'clock, is it?
No, what I was meaning was that compared to how it was during the storm, where it was really, really dark, really, really black, there's lots and lots of moonlight. So even though it's not daylight, obviously, it's still dark. There's a lot of moonlight. It's quite visible.
Okay. Well, honey, I'm just driving along the road, minding my own business.
All right, well, you keep doing that and get on with you. And he's sort of looking down as if there might be somebody else. Yes, I will. You too, ma'am.
Helen,
I'll see you tomorrow for my groceries.
Helen,
I
have you
just smile.
Have you noticed the lack of damage and the second person that's
Well,
storm?
I must confess, I did think the damage was a lot bigger at the time, but we were panicked. And, well, I guess someone's cleared the tree up.
Well, they put it back up.
I thought it was the tree that was next to the cattle grid that fell, but it could easily have been another one. I mean, it's a tree. They kind of look alike.
Well, I agree with you.
bit
I
like
thought it was that one.
Well, look, don't sweat too much about it. I mean, the facts are the facts. I'm curious if the damage to the shop is as bad as I think. I mean, the ceiling came in and the floor gave way, right?
Well, there was a whole fissure opened up through the store. There's no way they're going to repair that, surely.
So it's quite a lot of damage, right? Okay. We'll drive by the store after we've been to the church.
Okay.
Gosh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. If people are sleeping through the storm and didn't notice it, then there's no way anyone's going to be there this time of night. We'll have to follow up on that map thing in the morning. Let's just head to the store for now and see how bad the damage is. Also, I don't know if the sheriff has dealt with those criminals yet. We may have to take them in ourselves.
We could do. We bundle them in the back of the pickup and take them.
Yeah, I got my gun here still, so they shouldn't cause us no trouble. All right, we'll head to the store.
Okay. Yeah, so to do that, you would also kind of have to make a large U-turn, as it were. So you kind of keep carrying on up the hill, and you soon reach a point near the lake. You see Dominic's pickup truck parked.
He's not crashed another one, has he?
You might have done. You pull over and check on him.
He seems to have parked. I guess he's doing stuff. If you want to talk to him, I got the deputy's radio.
Okay, I can try that. So I'll get on. Sheriff, sheriff.
And in fact, let's go back to you, Dominic. You've been sort of tapping away. The ice is extremely thick. It's not sort of breaking or even sort of cracking a little bit. And you then notice. I'm assuming you're sort of crouching down, are you, or
Yeah.
kneeling down? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You notice near the center of the lake, and it's quite a big lake. It's a couple of miles sort of long. It kind of goes into two a bit like a Y shape. But out in the center, you see that someone is standing just stationary on the lake. And as you look up to see who it is, you hear sort of crackle of sheriff, and it's Kyle.
This is Sheriff Hollander.
Oh, Sheriff, this is Kyle. We're just passing you, wondering if you needed any help.
Yes. I think I may need some help here. Yeah, just get yourself to my position. I'm at the edge of the lake. You can't miss me. I'm the extremely shocked and scared person with a badge standing at the edge of the lake.
Oh, Helen, I think we better stop. He says he needs some help.
Yeah, I heard him.
I cry out to the guy at the middle of the lake, Sir, maybe you need to come, nearer the shore. Sort of.
As you look at them and beckon them, you realize it's not actually a man at all. It's a woman.
Sorry, miss. Sorry, it's a distance thing. Old eyes and all that. Miss, perhaps you want to come nearer to the shore? I mean, this ice seems very thick, but given everything that's happened tonight, I'm not sure how long it's going to stay that way. Could you possibly come this way?
They're staying completely stationary. They're not listening to you at all. They're a little bit hunched and they've got their head down. But it does look a little bit like Katie now that you think about it.
Oh shit! I really don't want to do, but man's gotta, yeah, and all that pizzazz. I place one foot on the ice. I still got the other foot very much planted on the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just testing the ice for weight.
Okay. You do feel a little bit of a crunch, but it seems to take your weight okay. Again, the ice is very white, so that would imply it's quite thick.
Yeah. I go out on the ice. I'm going to head towards her. Katie? Look, honey, I know you like making sure the guys have a cold one at the bar, but this is going a little far for it, isn't it? Come on. Let's go have a cold one. Come on. Not this cold one, back at the bar. I'm buying. Come on.
Carl, you're basically seeing the scene in front of you as you head down the slope. You see this quite sort of shocked, tired-looking sheriff slowly edging towards somebody, possibly Katie, a woman in the center of the ice, and he's beckoning her to move away, come back to the shore.
Where's he going?
Well, it's doing what sheriffs do, I guess.
We'd never get him out if he goes through that ice.
No, he'll be a goner.
Come on, honey. Come on. You know you make the best drinks, man. I can't survive unless you're behind the bar. Come on, honey. Let's go.
And as you take maybe another few steps, so you're perhaps a few few feet out now, and you keep your eyes fixed on her. It's weird, but she suddenly sort of starts slowly sinking, and then it gets much, much quicker. And suddenly you realize that all around her, the ice is melting extremely rapidly, way more than is natural or normal. And as the water melts all the way to where you are, you feel this almost a huge sort of sucking feeling of the water coming down as it defrosts.
Yeah,
taking her with it.
belting
you feel,
towards the shore.
Yeah, you kind of you belt out. You've got enough sort of bank underneath you still to get free of it. You're not sucked with her, but she sort of goes down like water down a plug hole and disappears.
Fuck.
Well, now I'm never gonna know what Niagara means. Poor girl.
I actually sit at the bank at this point. I'm trying to take it all in.
Now, Sheriff, I don't know if this is relevant, but she's had her house broken into, and there's a smear of blood on her porch. I think somebody was looking for that locket, and I think it was Ben, and he wrote this letter, and it says Antarctica and Niagara on it. Now, I was wondering if we happen to be on a map directly between Antarctica and Niagara, but that was just crazy talk. I realize now Niagara is what she's going through. I think she's being harassed by her fiance Ben, and we need to find that man. In some way, he has done this. I've just not quite pieced that bit together yet.
Miss Monroe, whilst I appreciate your assistance and
your doing your job, it's okay. But I don't have the store no more. I need something else to do, and I thought this seems like something I can do.
Let me just try and sum up in my own way what we've experienced.
Oh, we have seen time that
we have seen the mother of all storms. That doesn't seem to have been here.
No, it was here. It's just the crack's very much smaller than we imagined it to be at the time. Now, I'm wondering, did someone spike our drinks? I'm also wondering, is my store actually as bad as we think it is? I really should go check on that. You tend to your business, Sheriff. I'm going to go look after some of mine. But don't you worry. I'm not going to let this rest. I'm going to get to the bottom of what's happened to poor Katie, and I'm going to put that Ben behind bars. Although you'll have to do the arrest.
I'm glad I'm able to assist. I just need another moment, and then I'm just going to be able to control it. I'm just going to need another moment. Okay. I'm going into town now to find my deputies. And then I'm going to make a plan once I get
Don't forget you got 2 criminals over at my store. If they're still there, I'll get on the radio and let you know, and we can figure out what to do with them if they're still there.
Thank you. That would be most useful. I head back to my truck with a sort of purposeful stride. If no other reason, I'm trying to look as if I'm extremely confident and in control of the situation, when in fact I'm shitting myself.
Indeed. In fact, when you sort of get in your car and you get a little bit of solidarity with yourself, you feel yourself break a little bit inside mentally of what indeed you experienced that night. And it seems to have affected you most of all. And as you head back to get your deputies and to sort out the store and the smallest cracks of sunlight come through over the hill, I will leave the session there for the day.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Strange.
I hope you enjoyed that, you guys.
Very good.
Very much so.
damn yeah, that was intense.
Indeed, I wanted it to be a nice, intense first session.
Damn.
So there's a lot to happen in the first session.
And
It
yet
is,
not-
but then it is Cthulhu.
Wow.
I was thinking during the session that, this campaign has kind of started with some kind of deep one being summoned. And, like normally it's the deep one comes up at the end of the campaign. And I think Jason's put it at the start.
What's wrong with that?
Dealing with the aftermath of it, which is really cool. It's like there are two schools of thought with GMs. There are the people who do it wrong and have you fight the great old ones, and then there are the people who have the great old ones typically end their campaign. Now there's a third school of thought. It's whatever the hell is happening to us.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Well, I think. Oh, go ahead.
If any of my current players from my friendly local gaming store ever watch this, they will recognize this style of game as the one that similar to the one I tend to run, which is the drop them right in it at the start. Just right at the start, drop them in it, and they're kind of off to having to sort of run right from the off and sort of work out things as they go.
If they're watching here, they'd probably watch Pair of Geeks then, and in that case, they'd know all about our video. I think we did make that video, didn't we? Or am I imagining it? I'm sure we did.
I'm not actually sure.
I'm pretty sure I remember ranting about starting a campaign.
Oh, maybe.
was that- No, maybe we just did the one on. No, I did something. I did something after we started Corporation, and I spoke about it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense because you're doing it a lot then. But yes, Steve has asked when the next session is. It's next Monday. We're doing it weekly, which is actually, I'm enjoying it. I was saying to Becky, I don't really do weekly sessions, but it's nice because it means it actually stays fresh in my mind.
Yes.
So it's good. But just for a bit of housekeeping, you lot, in terms of your characters progressing, just make sure that for every skill where you've passed, not including your sanity or your attributes, tick it. I can remember pretty much what you guys have done.
I used locksmith and dodge.
Yep. All of you have used dodge. Becky, you've used appraise in the very first session. You and no, but you keep them ticked. You and Ronnie did drive a few times.
Yeah.
Ronnie did
nice
listen.
I failed.
I did
you
a
failed.
nice
Yeah.
firearms roll as well.
Oh,
Yes, you did.
I did brawl grapple that guy as well.
I can't think of any more skill rolls. First aid.
I did a
Ronnie.
first aid roll, yeah.
I think Becky and Ronnie both did listen, or what? Someone did. Ronnie did listen.
Yeah, I did a listen. I've got that ticked.
Okay.
I keep forgetting to tick these. It's been so long since I played Cthulhu.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you're ticking them. Because when you sort of next get to develop your character to the next step, you basically advance any skills that have been ticked.
Yeah.
I'm kind of half tempted to do it now because we've rounded off like kind of like a phase in my mind. It's the first chapter, but then you know it feels like a nice chapter end to me.
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Because it's the first one and so on. So
you've got to roll over, haven't you?
Yeah, so it's like we did the improvement rolls last time. I'm just going to see if there's anything else that we need to do.
And then how is it a D10?
Yes, so if you get over, then you roll a D10. And that.
Okay, praise has gone up.
Oh, it's
my dodge has gone up.
Dodge, yeah.
Oh, damn it, Drive. Oh, didn't expect that. I won.
Yes, good. Good. It improves by D10, doesn't it?
Beg pardon?
Improves by D10, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you roll a D10.
So that's lots. Is 79.
Praise got a lot better, and my firearms went up by 1.
Well, that was exciting.
There are some other activities. There are some things that are more for kind of downtime, and I don't see it as being maybe an opportunity where you can do downtime yet. However, I will allow you to reduce all sanity limits by 1. Does that mean the actual state, or does that mean just the point? Let me just check that. Because I started reading it, and then I sort of maybe misinterpreted it. Okay, yeah. So you can gain a sanity point back if you've lost any. I don't know if that's exactly what it means, but I'm going to do it anyway.
How many points?
I think Ronnie lost a luck.
Just 1. Yeah, luck. I'm looking for
1 point of sanity back.
1 point of sanity back if you've lost any.
Yeah.
Yes. So luck. Oh, of course, there's a million pages for it. Yeah, if someone's Googling it, that'd be really helpful.
Oh, I wasn't. In fact, I'm going to disappear to the toilet.
I will try and find something. If this works.
Spending luck. Okay, recovering luck points. Here we go. After each session of play, each player may make an improvement check for their luck. Same as a regular one. May not exceed 99.
Yeah, you can go up.
So yes, you can actually go do that. Yeah, you can go up, so it can go sort of up and down, but as long as it doesn't exceed 99.
Okay.
It's a lot, because it can vary.
That was useful.
So does that make it worth trying a luck roll to make it and then get an improvement roll out of it?
Well, you can make a luck roll if I ask for one, which is sometimes the case, or there is spending luck points on a roll. So yeah, you might as well. Obviously, there's a bit of risk, especially if your luck is quite low, because then if I ask for a luck roll, for example, and say I know you've got 15, then that's a bit of a fuck-a-doodle-doo. But yeah, take some risks with it. And that's pretty much it for housekeeping. Again, it's not going to happen every session, but luck will. That's official optional rule. And sort of leveling up, developing, I don't know. That will happen sort of every kind of chapter, if you will.
Okay, was there something we had to do with luck? Because I was away.
Yeah, I found the rule. So yeah, it's basically the same. So just another D100. If it goes above, then add D10. And that happens every session.
Right. Damn it, dice, come on. Oh, there we go. Ah, just missed it.
Never mind.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I would better cut the broadcast because I'm done. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. And you're not going to have nightmares tonight. And
no.
I will with everybody else next week. So bye-bye.